If you believe everyone, no matter where they live, deserve a place to call home, you're not alone. On Housing for Good, host Chris Goodson and Karolyn Moore explore housing solutions from McPherson to communities across Kansas and beyond. We bring you stories and insights from housing experts, policymakers, and people who are making a real impact. Join the conversation. Listen wherever you get your podcasts, Apple, Spotify, Amazon, iHeart, and more, because housing isn't just local, it's universal.
Welcome to Housing for Good, a podcast dedicated to housing topics and issues affecting our communities in McPherson County and beyond. With years of experience and expertise, hosts Chris Goodson and Karolyn Moore discuss housing challenges and opportunities with other experts from a variety of housing fields.
Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Housing for Good. I'm Karolyn.
And I'm Chris.
So, Chris, I'm going to go first with the news because I have some this year. This year?
You do?
This week, yes.
Okay.
So, you know, the alternative Christmas gift market is coming.
I do know that.
And so November 8 from 9 to noon at the Cedars is when people can come and find out about the nonprofits in McPherson and the work we do. And I love it because when it was presented to me the first time, it was give a gift in honor or memory of somebody instead of buying another material, whatever.
That they don't need and they put on the shelf and dust and sell at a garage sale within a couple of years.
And so, so I love it. And that is coming up soon. So please participate in that if you're in McPherson and you're able to do that.
And you have to come just to visit you and I, right?
Exactly. We'll be there in person.
We'll be there in person. You listen to our podcast. You see us, so come and see us. We love it. We love to see people.
We'd love to meet you. Mm-hmm. And then the other thing I heard about, and by the time this airs, it will have already passed, but I think this is so unique. So there is a group in Wichita that it's called Empty Bowls Wichita, and they get handmade ceramic bowls, and then they do a chili cook-off once a year. And so you pay to come in and eat, and when you leave with a ceramic bowl.
And you get chili in it too?
You do while you're there. And they said the money raised goes to fight food insecurity. And it is just a memory of there are empty bowls all across Wichita. Mm-hmm. And so for that one day, that's how this nonprofit is making a difference. And I'm like, that is brilliant.
And you love chili.
Different. And I love chili.
You are like the chili queen of America.
Yes, we traveled to Lenexa to go eat
How far is that? 3 hours to go eat chili?
Something like that,
That's far. I don't know. I don't like chili that much. but Wichita would be a doable thing, right?
Yeah.
So I would go to Wichita for that. I love it too. And really, that's something you could do anywhere across the nation. Mm-hmm. And there's empty bowls everywhere. Yeah. Nationally, internationally. Yeah. I mean, we've got so many people across the world who are hungry and have no food. And it just makes me sad that that's still going on in 2025.
Well, and it could be really overwhelming. So having something that you're doing to help make a difference any place makes a difference.
Yeah. So I have some news. Are you done with your news?
I'm ready. Go ahead.
Okay, so this is out of Wichita. There seems to be a reoccurring theme today. Yeah. You know, we talk about them a lot. They're really close to us. They're a huge city. Yeah. And they have the same problems we do, but multiplied like 100 times or something. So this is something that the Wichita city leaders are wanting to do. And this has been a problem for a really long time. But they're set to vote next Tuesday, which I don't know exactly which Tuesdays that is. I'm guessing it's in October, on a series of ordinances aimed at improving housing conditions, holding landlords accountable for repeated code violations, and protecting tenants using housing vouchers. And so this is a great step forward. The other thing that they're doing is adopting the International Property Maintenance Code with local amendments. So do you know Kansas is only 2 of the 50 states that we have that do not have minimum property standards? Yeah. I mean, that's mind-boggling. If I'm paying for something, should I not get my money's worth if I'm renting something? Do I not have an expectation of a toilet that flushes, of a shower that works,
of a kitchen
sink, of flooring? I was in a house once where the landlord put down plywood, and that was his idea of flooring.
Oh my gosh!
So, so I'm excited about Wichita. I think that's something that they're going to be watching across the state because Hutch tried this and it didn't work. because some things happened in Topeka and kind of gutted the bill. But let's see if this works in Wichita. I'm super excited about this. And this particular item that I'm talking about was on Cake TV. So that's ABC on Cake. So if you want to find out more about it, go to Cake and see if you can't find that story. That's what I got. That's all I got. So who do we have today, Karolyn?
All right. So today we are joined by Yamir Lozada. He is the executive director. No, I got it wrong already. Okay. His name is Yamir Lozada, and he's with Goodwill Industries. And Goodwill has long been known for giving people a hand up through education, workforce development, and job training. And so we're going to dive into his world, and he's going to tell us what his title really is.
That would be really good.
So Yamir, tell us about you.
Sure. Thank you so much for having me here. My title, oh my goodness, I have many different titles.
Okay.
So with Goodwill Industries, I'm the Director of Education and Workforce Development.
Oh, sounds like an executive director to me.
I know, maybe that's down the road a little bit.
Oh, maybe. So with our partnership with WSU Tech, I'm also the Director of Adult Education under their umbrella when we work with the Kansas Board of Regents.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then I'm also the Director of NexStep Alliance.
Okay. So I think I saw your resume that you sent to us, and all these
names were on there, like really impressive names and titles.
Yeah.
I just get the alphabet and just
throw it in there.
You know?
Wow, are we good enough to interview this guy? So let's start with your journey. How did you get to where you're at? What do you do at your role? What does that look like? How did you get there?
Sure.
Just kind of give us a little bit of background so that our audience can kind of figure out what's going on here.
Yeah, no problem. So I actually stumbled upon this job. I was working higher ed at that time, and my wife, I believe this was 2017, she was finishing up her bachelor's and working in the evening. And so I thought, what am I going to do in the evening? So I saw a job opening to teach in the evenings, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, for ESL. ESL is English as a Second Language. Mm-hmm. So I said, what the heck? It sounds great. Sounds wonderful. And, I don't have anything to do in the evening. So when I applied, I got the job. And so
sounds like you were shocked.
I was just, I was flabbergasted because it was, I saw the job ad and it said NexStep Alliance. So I didn't know it was Goodwill Industries. I didn't know that the mission was Goodwill Industries. So, with our education side of what we do, there's GED, so high school completion. Mm-hmm. There's ESL, so for our English language learners, and then there's reentry. And I have a personal connection with all three of those different components. Being a non-native English speaker, first in the family to earn a high school diploma, and then just as involved in my youth, I just fell in love with the mission. And so I was doing part-time work from March 2017 until there was a full-time position on January 2018. And I jumped ship. I joined them as quickly as I could because I just felt called to do that. And so since 2018, I joined as an instructor, full-time instructor, then assistant director, and then director of NexStep Alliance, and then director of education, and now director of education and workforce development. And it's been a wonderful journey.
That's awesome. That sounds like you got here, thought you'd have a little job. Poof, there you are.
Yeah.
You learn to fall in love with what you do, You
do. Yes, you absolutely do. Okay, so for listeners who might not be as familiar with what the core mission behind Goodwill's education and workforce programs are, can you kind of tell us that? And then how do you see that mission evolving as the workforce needs change?
That's a great question. So simply put, Goodwill Industries of Kansas core mission for the Education and Workforce Development Department is really to help individuals overcome barriers to employment and education so they can become the brilliant individuals that they want to be, that they ought to be, so they can meet those endeavors that they have. And everything that we do is for the people. And that's going to be our everyday, clock in, get to work. That's our prime focus.
Did you know that this was a thing? All the stuff he's talking about?
No. What I knew was that Goodwill Industries...
Where you take your stuff, right?
Yeah, you make donations there. And what I knew was they would hire folks with disabilities or folks that maybe are very challenged when it comes to getting a job. Mm-hmm. So what do you know?
I knew nothing. I take my stuff there. I donate sometimes. That's what I know. Mm-hmm. I literally thought that it was this great place and they use the money for good stuff. I had no idea. And I'm probably not the only one on here that doesn't know what you did, what is happening here. I bet I'm not the only one who's like, wow.
Yeah.
This is impressive. I'm like, oh, I'm impressed. Okay. Well, it's not hard to do sometimes.
Yeah. Well, and to be fair, I didn't know this for the first maybe year or two that I worked there full time.
Oh.
And it was, I really didn't.
I feel better now, right?
And so about 90 cents of every dollar that the retail store makes goes right back into mission.
That's incredible.
Goes back into hiring those individuals, goes back into a high school completion program. 90 cents of every dollar. And so those shoes that get donated, that lamp, it's literally changing lives.
It makes me feel really good, actually.
Yeah.
All this time, I've just been taking it there because I need to get rid of it. And I'm actually doing something like really good.
You're helping without realizing you're helping.
I know, that's just how my life goes.
And that's how y'all are part of the mission too.
Oh, that's so cool.
Think about it.
That's really cool. Okay, so I got to keep going with this. I'm over here talking about. Okay, so give us some of the key education and workforce development programs that you have. What does that look like?
Sure. So we have our high school completion program, our GED program. And so in the state of Kansas, when they pass the 4 GED tests, they earn a high school diploma, not a GED. They earn it from the state, which is pretty cool. Not all states are like that. So we have individuals from 16 to their senior years that are wanting to earn their high school diploma. They didn't finish for whatever reason. That's fine. But we want to help them with that. Then we have our ESL program for our English language learners. And we've had the pleasure to serving, I think, 66 different countries last year.
Wow.
And it's incredible. And we've had students that know just a handful of English words, or they work in our field and they're high in their ranks and they just want to continue to enhance their English language proficiency.
So I have a quick question. When you talk about English as the second language, is it somebody who speaks Spanish? Is it different languages? I mean, is it everybody? I mean, how would you teach somebody who speaks, I don't know, Japanese?
Sure.
Does it be the same as somebody who speaks Spanish or French or any of those languages?
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Last year, I believe we had 27 different languages as well.
Wow.
So some of them have to learn a whole new alphabet. Thinking of individuals from Asia, it's a whole different language, whole different letter, whole different phonetic elements that they need to learn how to pronounce. Individuals from Spain, they, instead of saying S, they say th. So instead of nosotros, which is us, they say nosotros. And so learning how to even augment diction, it's not easy. And so we have individuals, I've had someone who was a VP of a bank in Egypt. She incredibly smart. And I taught her the alphabet.
Wow.
And so that's one component. So there's GED, there's ESL, and then there's our reentry program. And so those who are just as involved, we teach them life skills to better integrate socially. We help them how to retain a job, how to get a job. And we also teach them components to earn their high school diploma. But the really cool thing about those 3 different education programs is that our partnership with WSU Tech, they allow us to have specific pathways, and we have our GED, ESL, and our reentry students go through and earn a college certificate while they're earning their high school diploma.
Oh, that's awesome.
Or working on their English. And all of this is surrounded by our wraparound services. I think you asked a question about what sort of elements people need to continue to find employment or skills that they need to develop. So these wraparound services could be our digital skills program, teaching them how to type, creating a resume, finding a job, working with our success coaches to learn the new bus routes, because we have a lot of students who face housing or transportation issues and childcare. Oh my gosh, childcare issues. But those wraparound services are incredibly vital to what we do.
Man.
Okay, so when I think of folks that need to finish their GED, honestly, my brain does not go to the elderly or the older population, Because a lot of times the folks we're working with, they're like 20s. They've got kids, they didn't finish high school. So yeah, that's very impressive that it's all ages, regardless of, where they're at. So I love that. So who are the primary beneficiaries of the programs, and how do you identify individuals that need support?
That's a good question. In terms of beneficiaries, anyone who needs services, even if they have a high school diploma, they need some refinement in their digital skills. Or I've had someone come in and they have degrees, diploma, English is perfect, but they don't know how to read.
Oh my God.
And they've gotten through life completely wonderfully, but he told me there's something in my heart that just I can't transition to the next part of my life until I learn how to read.
Oh wow.
It's powerful and it's difficult at times to really comprehend what other individuals face. And so anyone who needs supportive services of any kind, they're welcome to come to our doors. Just as involved, that's something that isn't as tenured as our GED and ESL program. And so we're still continuing to try to amplify serving individuals that are just as involved. And so we held a expungement clinic in April. We're going to have one again this coming April, 2026, right? 2026?
I know, it's hard to believe. I know, look how old you're getting.
I know. Maybe they can see all these gray hairs, But we getting a chance to serve over 200 different people to get their expunge their the mistakes that they've done, because their life doesn't end there. It's just a mistake, and we try to help them through that.
Yeah,
it's great. And of course, I think the other nonprofits that we get to work with, it's incredible. Places like here, and partners like Textron or Wichita Housing Wichita Crisis Center. All of those different organizations, when we work together, we're able to serve more and more people.
So do you measure the impact? Because this sounds like you guys are doing a lot. Do you have any kind of measurement where you say, well, we know we've helped this many people, or this is happening, or maybe connecting it to stories, or what does that look like at all? Can you kind of talk about that a little bit?
Sure. So the focus is always approaching this on a holistic lens, because we want to change lives. We want to help people, persevere through obstacles. But in terms of quantitative, last year we had about 100 individuals earn their high school diploma.
Wow. That is life-changing.
And there's a lot of data that shows, people who earn a high school diploma tend to retain their job a lot more frequent than those who don't. There's also a pretty significant dollar increase in those who have their high school diploma. Averages, I think, $8,500 compared to those who don't have a high school diploma. And those are, quantitative measures like, oh man, this is great. These are 100 people that we help change their lives. But there's a qualitative one. The holistic approach is, okay, we help them earn their high school diploma, but that's just the beginning. And so an example would be, we have these two individuals. They went through our reentry program. They got their high school diploma. They got their college certificate. And I believe they got hired at Textron, one of our partners, even before they finished their college degree program. And they're making probably more money than I am in here. and it's incredible. And that was a 6-month window for them.
Wow.
And looking at those lives that we changed, looking at the cycles that have those generational cycles that have gone through. Because I broke that cycle, earning a high school diploma, going to college, getting a chance to work with and learn with the great and wonderful Dennis. It's humbling, and so those are our wins. That's how we measure the wins. How many lives?
That's amazing.
Okay, so I want to just pause for just 1 second. So if somebody is interested and they want to enroll in your education components, the three paths that you talked about, who would they contact? How would they get more information and let somebody know they're interested?
Sure, that's a great question. It's as simple as they can go on our Facebook page or just go on their Google or whatnot, and you can go to goodwillindustriesofkansas.org or NexStep Alliance Facebook or website as well. They can call us at 316-677-1150, and they can call us and ask questions. If they already have their diploma, that's fine. They just need guidance on what to do next. That's fine as well.
Okay, I love this. And then the other thing is, the expungement that you talked about, the expungement clinic. We do one of those in McPherson. We just had one with our housing conference in September. And we were only able to get 41 people the help with their documents, get things filed. But it took away, I think they said 110 felonies off of somebody's record. And like you said, the impact that has on somebody's life, you have no idea what some of these folks are walking around with that just keeps holding them back. So I just want to give you a hand. I know that's so amazing.
Don't you wish that we had that here?
Yeah.
I mean, everything that they're doing. I mean, I think we have people kind of doing some of the things, but not like they're doing it. You come in, you get your high school diploma, you get a college thing, you can have a job. It's all in like one-stop shopping. Yeah. And what's hard is we're making people move amongst all these different things, and that's what stops you. Because that's overwhelming if I have to connect to this person and connect over there, and we're all over the place. But that's what I love, is that it's all one place that they can go and get their lives changed, because that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's a life-changing. What an awesome thing.
And kudos to you. I got the goosebumps. I don't know if you can't tell, but
I saw you shiver.
Yeah, that is incredible work, y'all. I mean, that's just tremendous. Those individuals that you served, even if it's just one, that's the amount of barriers, the amount of autonomy in their own life that you allow them to have. 110 felonies expunged. That is just amazing. Yeah. I don't use that word often. That is amazing.
It's so hard to put into words for somebody that maybe has never had one on their record, to put into words what just happened for that person. It gives me goosebumps when we talk about it.
The first time we did it, somebody came up to me. I'm not a big hugger, and it freaks me out mostly. But anyways, and this woman ran across the floor and grabbed and started hugging me. I mean, she had tears in her eyes. She said, "You don't know what you just did for me." Yeah. And that is like, then you're doing the work, right? You know what you're doing matters. It's helping. It's life-changing. And there's nothing, you can't pay me enough money. There's no job I could have to give me that feeling. Yeah. And that's what's so cool about what you do, some of the things that we do, and the other nonprofits that we work with and our partners. There's nothing better than that feeling of when somebody says that to you. It is just incredible. And that's what I always tell our audience that's listening out there today. Volunteer, get connected to your nonprofits, because that feeling you can't get anywhere else. Money can't give it to you. A job can't give it to you unless you do the work that all of us do. But get connected to your communities and volunteer and help people. There's nothing better than that, in my opinion. Nothing better than that.
Okay, you just did a perfect segue for our next part of this conversation. Yes. So partnerships are so important in community work. I'm not somebody that working at DCF that can help you get food stamps. I am not somebody that can sit with you and help you figure out your mental health issues and how to resolve some of the stuff that's in your past. What collaborations does Goodwill have with local businesses, schools, and other organizations to strengthen not just your workforce development, but just the work that you do overall?
That is a great question.
So far, I have had all great questions.
I noticed that, and I haven't had one single great question.
No, they're great. So here's...
I am keeping track. You see this? I have a little check mark over here.
The questions you're asking me are tugging at my heart. The questions you're asking me, I'm like, oh man, I really have to think hard about those.
Now I'm feeling really good, because I have the hard question, you have the smart question.
So we got these two great organs. This one doesn't. It's not so. It doesn't do a lot of work, but collaboration is key. For like our expungement clinic, we partnered with Kansas Legal Service and Koch Industries. For transportation, we collaborate with Wichita Transit and get some bus passes. And whenever there's a student that's stuck, we help them with that. In terms of other local partners, and so like Textron, They've helped us with mock interviews and interviews with our reentry students. We've had other businesses come to our English language learning programs to facilitate some life skill training, some civic engagement. We've had WSU Tech bring their Future Maker Lab and have our students practice on riveting, or they put on their 3D headset and they practice welding.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's so
That's
cool.
That's a really good idea.
And so we try to provide those life skill experiences to our students. But in terms of the those more difficult moments, our success coaches, they're trained to provide some coping mechanisms, some language to help students kind of really pull out what their main issue is, and so we can address it as soon as we can. I mean, if it's a housing issue, there's a lot of students who have domestic elements, and so how do we combat that? How do we help them without drawing too much attention, but also providing them immediate impact? Because a lot of the people that we get to serve, very reactive. And trying to be ready to have those answers or that guidance ready, it involves a lot of partnerships and involves a lot of collaboration.
Okay, so we want to tie this back to housing. That's really important. Yep. So how do you find stable housing for people? Do you help with that? Do you find partners? Because we always want to go back to us, housing is probably one of the most important things. People need two things for sure, housing and food. So when it comes to housing, are you able to find partners? Do you have housing? What does that look like?
We don't have housing, but we do have some partners that we refer our students to depending on the situation. And so it could be Union Rescue or the Inn that we refer our students to. I think I mentioned Wichita Crisis Center. And there are times where I think Center of Hope is another wonderful housing program. I believe that's her name. But we do our best. And so, housing, you're right, housing, food, it's something that everyone needs. And we've had students sleep in their cars before. And like, oh my gosh, this is not sustainable.
No.
And so if we're not able to find a sustainable and consistent way to not just put a Band-Aid on, but to try to heal whatever issue it is, then that's when we definitely call our partners. Housing, we don't have housing specifically ourselves. Maybe one day.
I'm surprised you do everything else. I mean, really.
Yeah.
And they do it well.
Yeah.
It's not like you're just kind of doing it. You're doing it. I mean, it's amazing.
The work y'all are doing is amazing. I mean, since 2007, right?
Yeah, that's how long the McPherson Housing Coalition has been in existence. And a lot of that happened because Chris, being a real estate appraiser, she saw things as she would go into houses to appraise them. So this young couple, I'm just going to tell her a little story. This young couple contacted her. They wanted to buy this house. There was a light hanging from the ceiling. There was no fixture. There was no flooring. There was a hole in the floor. The kitchen had been gutted. And she's like, guys, the bank is never going to loan you money to buy this house.
It was awful.
This is ridiculous. And something's got to change. And so that was when, and it was a process, but that was when conversations started happening. And we decided, we have to do more than what we're doing right now. And then you mentioned domestic relationships. Sometimes those can be the most challenging because you're asking somebody to leave what they know, even though what they know is dangerous and not healthy and there's nothing about it that they should be involved in. But to ask them to leave that and come trust you in helping them get a different life, that can take a while to build that trust. And then, like you said, you have to have some place to put them. So,
right, that psychological warfare of I'm in a very, very difficult relationship or situation, but this is the norm and this is what I'm comfortable with.
Yeah.
It's incredibly difficult, to your point, to step away from that and get uncomfortable to be comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it happens slowly sometimes too with domestic violence. The Maid, I always talk about The Maid. That's my favorite show.
That movie,
That was a series, and it really shows how someone can slip into that. No family support. All of a sudden that you're isolated and he wouldn't let her have a job. He wouldn't let her have a phone. They were in the middle of nowhere, but it happened very slowly. And she kept leaving and coming back and leaving and coming back until one day she said, enough is enough. I don't care. I'm going to sleep in this subway. I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
And today she writes books and she has her college education, and her story is incredible. They should have made a movie out of it because it was an amazing story. But it was so good about telling how people fall into these traps and how trauma plays such a role, which is what I'm guessing a lot of the people that you deal with are dealing with trauma and bad experiences and family stuff and all of that. So it's so awesome that they're doing all this work, because it really is.
I know, I'm really
holistic.
amazed.
I mean, honestly, you need to be everywhere. Can you just move to every town across the nation and that would take care of it?
Well, now let's ask that question. Okay, Yamir, how big is Goodwill's reach?
Yeah.
So Goodwill covers two-thirds of the state.
Okay.
Oh,
and
wow.
so, we cover 2/3 of the state from Emporia to Garden City. And we're continuing to try to find ways. We know transportation is also an issue. So we're continuing to try and find ways to bring services to them. And so, we recently opened up an opportunity center in the heart of a Hispanic community in Wichita. We're going to open one up in south of Wichita. I think November 10th is the grand opening. And then in Emporia, we're going to open up another opportunity center. And these opportunity centers provide different services to the community. So the first one I mentioned, that's specifically for education. The one that's going to be opening up on November 10th, that's going to be specifically to help people transition into employment and gain some training and some skills how to retain a job or find a better job. And then the one in Emporia is going to be supported by contract works as well. And so we're continuously trying to find ways to amplify the impact that we have in the community. But if there isn't a workforce or an education location near you, then we know how much donating your stuff changed lives.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's really good. Okay, so everybody faces some type of challenges. Are there specific challenges that you have that you're finding? Maybe it's not enough money. Maybe you need volunteers. Maybe I don't know how that works with Goodwill, if you ever even use volunteers. But what are the challenges that you're facing in today's world that maybe you didn't have a while back, or something new that's come up?
It's a hard question.
I have a hard question. You have a good question. I have a hard question and a hard question.
It's a really good question. It's making me really think, systematically what there is to do, what haven't we been able to do and accomplish.
What are we missing? What are we missing? That might be, maybe that's a better way to put it. What are we missing with all of us that we're still not able to manage? Okay.
Honestly, more time and more people. We know the need is there. This last year we served 1,300 students. The year before that, 1,056. The year before that, 900.
So you're growing.
96. We're growing.
You're growing,
and the need is growing.
A lot.
And we know that the work y'all do, the work that we do together, from expungements to housing to education support and wraparound services, there's lots of need out there. And if I can find a way to clone myself or clone what we do, that'd be incredible. But I know that's one thing, time and space to be able to continue to serve more people with our services that we all provide. Housing, childcare, transportation, food,
all of that
always is going to be an issue. And it's hard to come to terms we don't have housing. Or, if I can cook for every single person that we serve, I would love to cook for them and give them the groceries that they need. But a lot of these challenges, they're systematic challenges that we just need everyone in our communities to try to find a way to synergize and provide to the need.
Which also gives you opportunities as well. You see all these things. That's an opportunity for you to do something else. But what you're doing is already amazing.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't need to take on any more. We need someone else out there to take on those portions, maybe. I don't know, because how much can you grow? Can you be 5,000? That's probably a huge number, but how much bigger can you get?
That, I don't know the answer to that, but I think in terms of the overall impact that we can have for the people who need our services, not just for me, but for you and whoever's listening, is just collaborating. Finding a way to collaborate and enhance what we're doing for the community to work together for each other.
Okay, so earlier you mentioned that you have an agreement with, I think it was Wichita State, where they would bring in their goggles, 3D, and people would be able to practice welding and figure out what that looks like and some other things. Are there any upcoming initiatives or new programs that Goodwill is planning for workforce development? Or are you collaborating with the industries in Wichita as to what kind of workforce they're going to need developed? AI is coming in. What does that look like?
So in terms of impact and growth for the workforce development side, the expungement clinic, that's one thing that our first ever expungement clinic was last April. And we noticed there was a significant need and significant impact what we did. So we're going to have that again this coming April, and I'll make sure to provide you details.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome. That would be amazing.
Our opportunity centers, that's one thing that's workforce related. And so when the one that opens up on South Wichita on Seneca Street, that is going to not just provide employment opportunities for that community, but also training wraparound services for that community. And then our reentry program. So we start a new cohort every August and then every January. So in January, we're going to be having another cohort, and all of that is surmounted by a lot of partnerships. So our partnership with WSU Tech is incredibly important to the academic grit that we have within our program. Textron, they provide the guidance and support, and even TOR for our reentry students. We have many other partners that come into our programs and either provide workshops or training or expose our students to what can be done. And, once they get a feel, once they get that tactical, if they're putting on those goggles and doing some 3D welding, they can kind of see what is possible. And once we kind of shine a light like, hey, you know what? This is attainable. This is reachable. I'm sure we've all had that experience before too.
So what haven't we asked you? I mean, is there something that we didn't ask you that you want to talk about, or something you would like to see happen, or what are we missing? Did we miss anything with all our questions today? I keep making them think.
I know.
These are the hard questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I often ask that question. What should we be asking you? In terms of the reason why I'm still here, there's always going to be work to be done. There's always going to be people to serve. But as being someone who has been there from learning English, I think I started learning English in 5th grade.
Oh, wow.
To barely earning my high school diploma and being able to, coach my family to do so as well. And being just as involved in my youth. It's I guess the question is, what can we do better to help individuals avoid these difficult moments? And it all starts with support at a young age, I think.
Yeah,
that's good.
We like to say with McPherson Housing Coalition, our first focus has always been on families with children, because if you can stop the trauma and you can stop the dysfunction when the kids are little and show them there's a different way to grow up and a different way to do things, then hopefully you stop that generational poverty, you stop that generational dropping out of high school. You literally change the trajectory of that family's life. And so that Chris has always kind of pushed that's our first priority is people with children. Got to stop the trauma.
Kids have our heart.
Right.
And if we can reach the kids, you can change trajectory for anybody. Yeah. It's an incredible thing to see that.
Oh, for sure. And, interesting fact is the average person that we serve through our education and workforce development program, I believe it's 33-year-old mother.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's an interesting statistic. Huh.
And a lot of the motivation, a lot of the realization that they need guidance on is actually confidence as well. The amount of confidence that they gain from all of our services is monumental to a lot of them.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are motivated by their littles.
Yeah.
And they want to see, their mom walk across the stage or their dad, get that diploma or get a job. And so you're right. It's for the kiddos.
It's the kids. So thank you for joining us today and sharing about Goodwill and what the work that you personally are doing. I mean, wow, what a mission, right? This has been an absolutely incredible, the way you're changing lives through education and workforce development. Thank you for joining us today. This has been a great interview.
Yes, and thank you to our listeners for tuning in to Housing for Good. Remember, this holiday season, giving hope can be the greatest gift. And join us next time as we continue exploring how housing, employment, and community come together to brighten futures.
And have a great day.